Hi everybody, my name is Lauren and today I'm going to be talking about, I don't know how many things I have on this list. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I have like nine-ish things on my list. I'm gonna be talking about things that you can do for little to no money in New York City. Basically free, but nothing's really ever free, but I'll get into that in just a second. But if you like this video or all my New York City related videos, please give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and please leave a comment down below of anything else, any other questions that you have about New York City, and etc, etc. So let's get started. So I wanted to film this like outside, but it's actually like very cloudy in New York right now. It's about to rain, and so I'm in my house filming this video. But anyways, the reason why in the beginning I said nothing's ever free is because there is at least one thing that you're gonna need to complete most of these tasks, and that is a MetroCard. Okay, a unlimited MetroCard, or MetroCard at all. I just say unlimited MetroCard just because I'm somebody who's always on the go, always got somewhere to go for multiple times a day. And if you don't get an unlimited MetroCard while you're in New York, I just feel like you're gonna be spending unnecessary money. So try to get an unlimited MetroCard if you're gonna be here for at least a week, and you'll definitely get your money's worth. I think that is, because when I was younger they didn't have that. I think that's like the best thing that they ever came out with, was an unlimited MetroCard. So an unlimited MetroCard is essential if you are not in the borough or in walking distance of whatever activity that I'm about to list. So the first thing that I have on the list is state parks, city parks. Yes, our parks here in the city. We have Central Park, we have Prospect Park, which is in Brooklyn, we have Union Square Park, we have Washington Square Park, and then I think that there's a park by the Brooklyn Bridge. It's like Brooklyn Bridge Park. There's parks all over here, and it's free. Something that I love to do is go to those parks and take pictures with my friends. It's amazing backgrounds. You get views of the city. So those are those. There's obviously more parks. You can have a picnic. If it's summertime, you can go on, you can have a tan, and you can really just sit down and talk with your friends. It's really, I guess that's also a little bit of money. If you have a picnic, you have to buy snacks or something like that, but it's really not a lot of money. All you have to do is get to the park and boom, like you're right there. If you have a little bit more money, you might want to go bike riding in Central Park. Central Park is enormous. There's a lot to see in Central Park. And I've also been to Prospect Park once, and it's really nice there. It's very similar to Central Park, but it's in Brooklyn. And there's also a zoo in Prospect Park, but I'm not too familiar with that zoo, and I don't think that is free. And moving on to zoos, a zoo that you can go to that is free is the Bronx Zoo. If you go to the Bronx Zoo on Wednesdays, it is free. I believe they do ask you for a donation, but like you can just donate $1 or nothing at all, and boom, you get to see the park for free. Now when you do go for free, you don't get to see every single exhibit, but the Bronx Zoo is enormous, and even what's available on free Wednesdays is enough. Like it's so big. I've been there so many times because growing up in New York City, your school makes you go there on Wednesday because it's free. So I've been there so many times, and it's so big. Like I went to a zoo that wasn't in New York a couple years ago. That was my first time going to a zoo that was not the Bronx Zoo, and I couldn't believe that I'm like, that's it. Like it was nothing compared to the Bronx Zoo. So if you are in New York City or you never been to the Bronx Zoo, definitely take time to go to the Bronx and check out the Bronx Zoo. It is worth it on a Wednesday. It is absolutely worth it. It's so big, and it's really nice to see. Next up on the list is Coney Island. Depending on where you live in New York City, I live very far from Coney Island, but with my unlimited MetroCard, I can get anywhere. I live very far from there, but Coney Island is free if you want to just walk around, and basically I believe it's just like an amusement park, and they also have a beach. But to walk around and just sightsee and everything, it is free. It's like a boardwalk, and you can just walk, and It's free and you can take pictures. Like I said, that's what I'm going to do. And it's just a really good experience, especially if you've just never been there. It's a day trip. Everyone that I know that goes there, it's always like a day trip just because it takes forever to get there. So if all these things, if you ever come to New York, you can just come and see what that's about. Next up is it's like a new tourist attraction, I believe. It's Hudson Yards, or where the vessel is located. That's a new tourist attraction. They built the mall and they're building up that whole entire area into like this touristy site thing. It is free to the public to walk around, and if you want to go into the vessel, it's basically just steps, and a lot of people take pictures in it. If you want to walk up some steps, it's free. All you have to do is go online and purchase a ticket. Like, you have to reserve a time slot basically, but it's free to do that. You just have to reserve a time slot, and boom, you get to do that for free. You get to walk around the mall for free. You get to walk around Hudson Yards for free. It just gives you something to do. Next up is the Brooklyn Bridge. Like I said before, depending on where you live, you're gonna have to take the train there. But walking across the Brooklyn Bridge, I believe it's like a mile or something, or 2 miles or something like that. And you just walk across and it looks amazing. It looks great. I'm pretty sure if you're watching this video, you've seen plenty of pictures of people on the Brooklyn Bridge. I walked across it like a couple times. It's really nice. It's just really overcrowded because it's free, but it is fun, especially if you go with your friends and everything. It is cool to see, and it just gives you something to do like everything else on this list. The next thing that I would say is going window shopping. The Forever 21 on Times Square, that Forever 21 is like 5 levels. So every time someone comes to New York, I always tell them to go look at it, just because it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous in there. I've been in there a bunch of times, and every time I go, I'm just like, I just can't believe how big it is. Also, another thing that's free, usually when I go to Union Square, there's always a flea market in Union Square Park. You could walk the flea market, you know, obviously if you want to buy something that obviously costs money, but usually they have like free wine tastings or whatever, free samples. It's like Costco's, but like natural and outside and more accessible, because there's not a lot of Costco's here in New York. Another thing is Subway performers. Like, hello, that's free entertainment right there. If you go to Union Square, if you go to Times Square or 34th Street, Penn Station, if you go to those big stations, there's always people performing. In the train stations, there's always people performing. If you're going downtown toward Brooklyn, there's, especially on those letter trains, you see some stuff on those letter trains. There's always people performing. There's always people singing, dancing, doing magic tricks, always at those stations, at those really big stations. So you can just go to those like during rush hour or something, if you just want to waste time, or you just bored and you want to see stuff. Like, just go stop at those little train stations, and people are gonna be there playing, performing. If you want to donate money, you can just record it, whatever you want to do. Grand Central is also really big. I haven't ever seen a lot of performers at Grand Central, but that is like it's like a terminal. It's a really big terminal, and a lot of people, they like to walk around it because there's like a lot of shops and stuff in there. So that's really good. As far as train stations, there's always live entertainment, free live entertainment there. Now, another thing that you can do that I've also done, a lot of these things that I just listed, I've done. I'm also gonna name stuff that I haven't done but are also free in New York. Visit the 9/11 Memorial. Pretty sure you guys all heard about 9/11, Ground Zero. They built like a whole memorial, and it's like a tourist attraction. People go there to see it. They pay their respects, and it's just really good to see. I know they have like all the names of everyone whose lives were lost in the tragedy and everything. So that's also another thing that you can see. Now, getting to stuff that I have never done. It says free museums on free museum days. There's a lot of museums in New York City, and sometimes certain times on certain days they have free admission. So like for example, it says the Museum of Modern Art, it's free admission every Friday from 4 to 8. It's free every Friday from 4 to 8. The tour of Federal Bank of New York Gold Vault, you can sign up for a free tour on weekday afternoons. Brooklyn Botanic Garden, it's around Prospect Park, which I've mentioned earlier. It's free on Tuesdays. So this says on Tuesday you can go to Brooklyn, and then on Wednesday you can come to the Bronx for the zoo. Oh, and another thing, in the summertime, literally every weekend or every other weekend, there's some type of parade. Like there's always a parade. Like every time I go downtown, there's always delays, and there's always a parade somewhere every single weekend. Even if that parade doesn't necessarily represent you, you could just go. Parades are really fun. It's really cool to see the floats and everything and be around all that good energy and everything like that. So that's my list. So comment down below if you've done any of these things. I'm pretty sure you have. If you are gonna do any of those things, I would like to hear about it. It's really interesting. And yeah, so if you're gonna do any of those things, just leave a comment down below. If you've done any of those things, I want to hear about it. And give this video a thumbs up like I said before. And please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I would leave a comment. I would like to hear about what other videos, what other New York City or hair related videos you would like to see from me. Thank you. See you in my next video.